Coffee Talk. I am your host, Mashuma Saba, M. Saba, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast. Stay tuned. Peace. And welcome to Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Variety Podcast show. And I am your host, Mashuma Saba, M. Saba. And this is our Cultural Variety Wednesday night sports show. How y'all doing today? The Coffee Talk Podcast, Cultural Variety show. Wednesday night. It is June 21st, 2023. And this is our Wednesday night sports. If this is your first time tuning in, we're not your typical sports show. We don't really care about who won or lost. We love to give you the different intricacies that go on behind the scenes in the world of sports. So that's what we do here on Wednesday nights. And it's a pleasure to be here with y'all. How was y'all's day today? I know it's about 90 degrees outside here in the Twin Cities, but it feels good. We don't have the thick humidity as of yet, but you know that's coming in July. Hey, that ain't the only thing that comes in July. You know what I mean? My birthday's in July, y'all. How about that? Yeah. Okay. See, there's something positive to be on the lookout for, right? Yeah. But yeah, like I said, my name is Mashuma Saba, and this is our Coffee Talk Podcast Sports Night. And tonight, I wanted to talk about coaches in sports history that had the greatest or the craziest outbursts. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight is the coaches, man. You ever see some coaches just wild out? Rudy, get your ass up out over there and play defense. Bring his ass out. He missed the layup. You know what I mean? Coaches with these crazy outbursts, man. So that's our show for tonight. We're going to go ahead and talk about, the greatest and the craziest outbursts by your fellow professional sports coaches. Some names will sound familiar. All the names will sound familiar. And then we're going to end the show with a very short sports story. It's, you know how I do. It's probably like just a 2-minute story, definitely to garner your attention. Definitely something to just to think about, or something that you may have not known. You know what I'm saying? So this is Coffee Talk Podcast, and this is what we do. All right. So if this is your first time tuning into the show here at Coffee Talk Podcast, we never start a show without giving you a flavor as well as the wise words of the day before we start our show. So let's go ahead and jump right on into it. Tonight's flavor is just real simple, man. Tonight's flavor is straight up water. Why? Because it was 90 degrees today. It's going to be 90 degrees tomorrow. And it's imperative that you stay fresh, cool, hydrated. You know what I mean? So you don't get dehydrated. You know what I'm saying? So definitely have you some fresh water, keep the blood flow going, keep your thought process clear. So tonight's flavor is water. But wherever you are, what are you sipping on? What are you drinking on? Pour yourself some water, some wine, a smoothie, a beer, whatever you do. But make sure you come on in, kick your feet up, and enjoy yourself here at Coffee Talk Podcast. All right. Now, before we jump into the wise words, I just want to say this, wherever you are, wherever you are, you know, make sure that you have a continuous, beautiful evening. Right now, it's late. It's about 9:37 where I'm at, and so if you live in the Midwest area or the Central United States, it's about I'm sorry, 9:37. So it's getting late. So I just want to say, man, make sure you have you a beautiful night with whatever you're doing, whatever you didn't get done today. That's okay as well. You know, you get done tomorrow. You know, don't stress over it, but just make sure you have a good evening for the rest of this evening. So that's really all I want to say is just be stress free. You know what I'm saying? All right. Next up, the light got me sweating right here underneath. Anyway, next up, our wise words come from a 5-time Wimbledon champion. She's one of our greatest athletes, male or female. She's the truth in the world of tennis. And I want to go ahead and read the wise words from no other than Venus Williams. That's right. Venus Williams, 5-time Wimbledon champion, definitely be in the Hall of Fame of tennis, the greatest tennis player to ever play the game. Some people might argue that, but hey, we give our props to ours over here at Coffee Talk Podcast. Also, before I go into her wise words, y'all see the background. It's Juneteenth. It's been Juneteenth. We rocking Juneteenth, and that's just what it is. So may you have come out in your communities and got to meet other people that you normally probably wouldn't speak to. You know what I'm saying? Come out, build communication, build dialogue, get to know one another, you know what I'm saying? And possibly you can create a better environment. That's what we want to say with that. All right. So Venus Williams' wise words is this. Venus Williams once said, I don't focus on what I'm up against. I focus on my goals and I try to ignore the rest. Venus Williams, wise words. I don't focus on what I'm up against. I focus on my goals and I try to ignore the rest. Those are the wise words of Venus Williams. Inspiration, pioneer, and the greatest tennis players, if not the greatest tennis player to ever play the game. All right. So tonight, again, as I stated, we're talking about outbursts. Some of the funniest, the greatest, the craziest outbursts of coaches. Sorry, I don't have no video coverage for that. We're going to be working on that in future episodes. But tonight, we're going to start with this man right here. Great football player, by the way, for the Philadelphia 76ers. Philadelphia Eagles back in the late 70s. And former head coach of the New York Jets, Mr. Herm Edwards. And Herm Edwards, man, he coached the New York Jets from 2001 to 2005. And it was on this crazy day of October 30th, 2002, early in the season, the New York Jets blow an 18-point lead and get blown out by the Cleveland Browns. So after the loss, Herm Edwards decided to go off and snap on the team. If you go to my live page, you can check that out on Facebook, or type in Herm Edwards New York Jets rant or outburst, and you can check out the video. It's very funny in itself, so definitely check that out. But yeah, they blew an 18-point lead, and Herm Edwards snapped. He went on to say these words, and let's go ahead and break these words down like we always do here at Coffee Talk Podcast. Let's go ahead and get our thoughts as to what you take from it. All right, so listen. Herm Edwards said this after blowing an 18-point lead. He says, you play to win the game. Hello? You don't play it just to play it. You play it to win the game. That's the beauty of it. You play it to win the game. Hey, man, that's exactly what he said, man. Check out the video, man. It's classic. But do you think Herm Edwards had any truth in that? You know what I mean? We play to win, baby. We don't play just to be playing. You know what I'm saying? What is y'all's thoughts on that? Go ahead and leave a comment and or hit the like button and definitely share the video. Let your friends know. Look, Coffee Talk Podcast is on. Coffee Talk Podcast is on. Check it out. It's sports night. Hey, that's what we're trying to get into, baby. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for the supporters that continue to support the show. But yeah, so Herm Edwards, man. Herm Edwards is one of those tough coaches. He's a player's coach. You know, I've always admired the man. Definitely hard-nosed and driven. Definitely an alpha. You know what I'm talking about? Definitely an alpha. And that particular year, they won 7-2 to finish the season. But or actually, I apologize. They finished 9-7 that year, but they got into the playoffs and they won the AFC East. They got in as a wild card, but he motivated those boys to make the playoffs. He willed that team after losing and getting blown out, you know, and being the talk of the league at the time. You know, so that's why I had to put it up today. I had to talk about it because it was just it's a funny video. Like I said, if you want to check it out, go ahead and go to YouTube and check out the video. I do apologize that we are not bringing you the video yet. We will bring you future videos on the show as we continue to grow. But man, check out the Herm Edwards outburst. They blow an 18-point lead to the Cleveland Browns. You play to win the game. Hello? You don't play it just to play it. That's the beauty of it. You play it to win the game. All right, so check it. That was Herm Edwards. And again, tonight is, you know, some of the greatest outburst rants of professional sports coaches. And, you know, I thought that was cool. You know, talking about Herm Edwards, one of my favorites. What is one of your favorite outbursts? Do y'all have any? If you do, go ahead and leave those in the comments. I'd love to hear what coaching outbursts y'all can remember, whether that's Pop Warner coaches, college coaches, professional coaches. Just give us something that you remember that your coach would do, you know. Also, big shout out to another coach that I wanted to put in the segment, Coach Jerry Tarkanian for the UNLV Running Rebels, one of my favorite coaches of all time back in 1990, 1991. Jerry used to always fold up a nice towel and be chewing on it, you know, as a team was running up and down the court. And if he started to get flustered, frustrated, or whatnot, you know, he would bend that towel, put it in his mouth, get to chewing on. You knew Jerry was pissed. But yeah, no doubt. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go into the next coach that had a crazy rant as well. But before I do that, I definitely want to just go ahead and give you all like 30 seconds to go ahead and grab you some more snacks or grab you something to drink, pour you something, you know, add to the flavor. And then we're going to come back in about 30 seconds and we're going to talk about this next coach. And then we got a nice story for y'all. I'll see y'all in about 30 seconds. Peace, 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 peace. And welcome back to Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Variety Podcast Show, Wednesday night sports edition. And I am your host, M. Saba. This is our Cultural Variety Podcast Show. All right, so check it. This next guy, great coach, man. He's a Hall of Famer. He actually was inducted in the Hall of Fame back in 1991. They called him the General, the Bobby. And he coached in the Midwest, man, in the mighty Big Ten Conference. He goes by the name of Mr. Bobby Knight. And Mr. Bobby Knight, again, coached for the Indiana Hoosiers. And he actually is a three-time NCAA men's basketball champion back in 1976, 1981, and 1987. He coached at Indiana from 1971 to 2000. And he probably has one of the greatest outbursts in coaching in sports history. And I got to apologize because I need to encourage y'all. I need y'all to tell y'all, if y'all want to see his outburst, you got to go to YouTube and check it out. Type in Bobby Knight throws chair. This dude, today, they would have locked him up. Today, the way the kids are so sensitive, they couldn't play for a coach like this. This coach was hard-nosed. He was demanding, very hard-nosed. He expects his team to play defense. He expects his team to not give up on either end of the floor. He was very tough-nosed. He was really into execution. And he won a lot of games, man. He won a lot of games. Again, he's a Hall of Famer. But the outburst occurred February 23rd, 1985. They was playing against Purdue. And Bobby Knight was arguing a call with the ref. And the ref gave him a technical, man, and Bobby threw a chair. That's right. WWF style. He threw a chair. Hey, man. WWF style, WWE, man. Yeah, dude threw a chair on the court. Now imagine any other coach doing that, man. They probably would have arrested him right on the court. Put handcuffs on my man. But yeah, Bobby Knight was a great coach. He had players such as Isaiah Thomas, Calbert Chaney, just to name a few. Damian Bailey, point guard dude back in the day, who was cold. Shooting guard, and several others. Keith Smart, NCAA MVP for hitting the last shot from the corner. That's Mr. Bobby Knight, man. Again, Bobby Knight coached from 1971 to 2000, man. And so that's all I wanted to talk about as far as the coaches with the craziest outbursts, the craziest rants. Again, I apologize. I don't have the video tonight, but I encourage you all to go ahead to YouTube, check out those videos. Check out Herm Edwards, our first coach tonight from the New York Jets back in 2002 against the Browns. His rant in the locker room in the press conference right after the game. And then check out Bobby Knight throwing a chair. He was that upset, man. And, you can't do that today. But listen, if you're watching the show and you're supporting us, you know how we get down here at Coffee Talk Podcast. Go ahead and leave us a comment. Let us know what was one of the craziest rants that you've ever seen from a coach in any individual sport or team sport. Go ahead and let me know. Leave that in the comments. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share these videos because we're trying to up our viewership and stay smooth with our algorithm. and try to just continue to bring you the best show as possible. So that's what we're doing here at Coffee Talk Podcast. And you know what your greatest coach in Lansfield, you know, leave it in the comments. All right. So before I get ready to end tonight's show, Wednesday night sports night, I want to give you a short story. And so tonight's story is this. The first black player in professional football was Fritz Pollard, who played for the Akron Indians of the American Professional Football League in 1919. Blacks played on the professional teams until 1930. Then they didn't play anymore until like the 60s, late 60s or 70s. Anyway, that's our show for tonight. That's our sports show tonight. Again, we talked about Herm Edwards, Outburst, the General Bobby Knight, and then definitely gave you a little short story about Fritz Pollard being the first brother to play in the NFL. So no doubt. We'd like to go ahead and say this as we get ready to go. Thank you for continuing to support the show, Coffee Talk Podcast. I really appreciate you a lot. Continue to spread the word on about our show. We definitely got a lot of stuff that's in store that's going to be coming as we go into our fall session. You know what I'm saying? So we got a lot of good stuff on the way. But other than that, man, I want to go ahead and hit you with the universal peace sign. I just want to say, hey, thank y'all for the support. Thank you for supporting Coffee Talk Podcast. And remember, man, enjoy y'all's days, man. Stay sucker free. Stay near positive people. Stay away from all that negative energy. It does nothing good for you, but just suck the energy out of you. So stay with positive people. Stay with people that has courage. Stay with people that's trying to gain something through unity and or sharing of information. Make sure you're around people that are building businesses. Make sure you're around people that you can learn from. And most importantly, just cut the ego, man. There's no need for it. We all have enough information out here to share one another and help one another. You just gotta really do the work. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, again, I hit you with the universal peace sign. Thank you for tuning into the show, Coffee Talk Podcast, the cultural variety podcast show. I'll see y'all Saturday, right? Meet you Saturday. Peace.